Hello guys, welcome to my channel.
Hello guys, in this video we are going to learn about data binding. Data binding is also a part of Google Jetpack library. This Jetpack library also play great role to implement MVVM architecture. In my previous video we have learned about life cycle aware components like life cycle observer, life cycle owner, view binding, live data. So in this video we are going to learn about data binding. So first of all we have to analyze the code, the simple code, and then we have to analyze what is the requirement to implement data binding and how many ways we can implement data binding in our application. So first of all, you see this is the application. Here I have designed text view, two text view. One is title data binding example, second the value for data binding. So this value should be displayed by using this example. But if I run this program, you see this information has been modified. This information modified with the help of this code. We have a find by view ID and we have changed the code. It's a normal thing, nothing special, very simple way to test the code. So this code, this particular code I will make with the help of data binding first. So how you can insert the data binding in your program and what are the advantages, what are the different ways to implement data binding. So it is first thing we can replace find by view ID by data binding. So first thing we'll learn how we can replace this. Then we will learn second concept. So first of all we have to go to Gradle and here we have to add the feature of data binding. So I say build feature, I say data binding true, like this. And one thing I have to add here, I have to add here Kotlin KAPT, Kotlin annotation processor, that is required for data binding. So we have to do this. So after doing this thing, this is the requirement, plugin requirement. So we have done this. Now we have to convert this layout to the data binding layout. Remember, we have to convert this layout to data binding layout. If I do not convert, for example, suppose I here create data binding object, like I say binding activity main binding. So this class would not be recognized. You see this class is not available because I have not convert my layout into data binding. So here I have to right click, show context action and convert this to layout, data binding, like this. Now layout has been converted and you see this also generated and we have to import the class. Now we have to create the object of this and we have to set the layout. So I say data binding util dot set context. We have to first of all import this class, then we have to use here this. So done, this layout has been set to data binding. Now I can remove this, no need find by view ID, just I have to add the binding in place of before this. You see binding, and this is not the info, we have to see the ID. The ID is txt info. So here I have to replace this with txt info, like this, and the value has changed. If I run this program again, you see this program will run the same as it was running previously by using find by view ID. Now it is running with the help of data binding. So one use of data binding is we have removed find by view ID and directly we are accessing the component of our layout without using find by view ID. Directly object we are accessing, it will come here. You see, same output generated, and we have removed find by VUID using data binding. Now one more thing you see, I create one data class. For example, I create one data class here, and I say that is we say binding data I say data for binding, just for example, and I created data class. And in this data class, I just create one variable. I say var info string, like this. Okay, so only one information. Now you see, I can add this data class in the layout, and then if I change the value of this info, then automatically the information this will change. You see, here I go there in data, and here I just create a variable, and I say variable name is info data, like this. And here I say the class name is data for binding I have to convert, I have to write full path, like I say edu dot guide dot data binding example dot this. So with the package name, I have to pass here the full name. Done. So this is the object of this class. Remember. Now you see, this variable I add here. In place of this text, I add like this data binding object here, and I say info data dot, the variable name is info. Remember, info data dot info, the variable name is info, and this is the binding with the layout. So I have created the object of this class. Now here in this coding, I will create the object, I will change it later on. I will create the object of data binding, data for binding, and I say here equal to data for binding, and here I pass the data. This is data binding info by data class. You see, I say this one, and this data binding object I am passing in binding dot info data equal to data for binding. You see, this info data is the object which I created here of this class, and I am passing the object of this to this. Remember, I have not initialized this value. This value is connected or binded with the value of this data class info. So automatically this object is passed here, and the value which I initialized here will goes to the layout. If I run this, and you will see this information will be replaced. You see, the value has been changed. The value which I initialized here, that value is automatically changed here. One more thing also, if I change this value again, info equal to, this is changed value. Remember, if I change this, Okay, I have to convert this to val also. For example, because it's a var, I say to val. Then if I change this value, this is changed value. And I run it again. You see, I am changing the value of my class variable, and automatically this value will change here. You see, this value I change first, then I modify this value with this. So last values update with this text view. That means in my program, anywhere, if I change the value of this class variable, then automatically my layout, my text view value will change. You see what a magic it is. It's a very good facility. If you use in your application will be like a business oriented application. Data rendering will be very fast and your application will run so much fast. So that was the concept of data binding. In next video we will learn one-way versus two-way data binding with live data. Thank you for watching this video.